I was always told a woman must develop herself, and I probably went. Is it still true that you're never going to get married? I never said that. Hollywood has seen thousands of beauty icons, but there is only one Jacqueline Bisset, the woman Newsweek once hailed as the most beautiful film actress of all time, yet she never married. She mesmerized the world with her sensual on-screen presence, yet despised the very scenes that turned her into a symbol of seduction. She stood beside Frank Sinatra, Steve McQueen, Francois Truffaut, yet no man ever managed to keep her. So what is the truth? Was it a choice or a hidden tragedy? Behind the dazzling exterior, what really happened? This story will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about Jacqueline Bisset. Jacqueline Bisset was born on September 13, 1944, in the midst of World War II. From the very beginning, her life was anything but peaceful. Though born into a privileged family, with a father who was a doctor and a mother who was a French lawyer, beneath that seemingly perfect exterior lay fractures that could never be mended. Her mother, Arlette Alexander, was an intelligent, strong woman, but her fate was steeped in tragedy. She sacrificed her career to build a family, but when she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, her life took a devastating turn. The man she once trusted, Max Fraser Bisset, abandoned the family, leaving Jacqueline and her mother to fend for themselves. As a young girl, Jacqueline didn't fully understand the complexities of the adult world, but she witnessed firsthand how her mother, once strong and independent, was left to fight alone. Her father's departure didn't just leave a wound in her heart. It planted a deep, invisible fear of love and marriage. She understood early on that women could not rely on men for happiness. Without a career of their own, without financial independence, they would be discarded the moment they were no longer the idealized version men once adored. From that moment on, Jacqueline's life was no longer carefree. She grew up in solitude, in years that should have been filled with childhood innocence. While other children played, she worried about how to earn money to take care of her mother. With no one to shield her, no one to guide her, she was forced to grow up far too soon. Modeling became her only way to survive, but this profession taught her another harsh lesson. Beauty might be a golden ticket into the world of fame, but it was also a dangerous trap. The fashion industry of the 1960s was filled with exploitation, scrutiny, and relentless objectification. No one cared what Jacqueline thought or wanted. They only saw her face, her body, and assigned her a role. A beautiful flower rather than a woman of intellect and ambition. Yet Jacqueline refused to be a victim of fate. She once had a dream to become a professional ballet dancer. Ballet was the one place where she felt truly herself. Not just a pretty face displayed on magazine covers or catwalks, but reality was unforgiving. Ballet training was expensive and she couldn't afford to continue when her family's finances had collapsed. Her body didn't fit the strict standards of dancers at the time. Too tall, too full-figured, and she soon realized that the world of ballet was just as ruthless, where only the truly exceptional could survive while the rest would be crushed. She refused to be crushed. Forced to abandon her ballet dream, Jacqueline realized she needed another path, a path that could give her the freedom she so desperately craved. That path was cinema. She enrolled in the Talia Conti Academy of Theatre Arts, which had trained some of Britain's greatest screen talents, but even as she stepped into the world of acting, she couldn't escape the shadow of her own beauty. People didn't see her talent, they saw her face first. Directors cast her not for her acting skills, but because she had an air of elegance, sophistication, and irresistible charm. This realization left Jacqueline in deep conflict. She wanted to be recognized for her talent, but she also understood that without her looks, she would never have a chance to go far in this industry. Her beauty propelled her to Hollywood faster than anyone could have imagined, but it would also become a double-edged sword in her life, because once you enter the film industry through beauty, it will never let you forget that fact. And soon, Jacqueline would come to understand the real price of fame. Jacqueline understood it well. She knew that once she allowed herself to be confined to the label of a beauty goddess, she would never have the chance to prove she was a real actress. But could she escape the gilded cage that Hollywood had already prepared for her? In 1965, Jacqueline made her screen debut in The Knack and How to Get It. It wasn't a major role, nor did it mark a turning point in her career, but it was her first ticket into a world full of hidden traps. 2 years later, she landed a more notable role in Casino Royale, 1967, a parody of the James Bond franchise. But rather than propelling her towards serious acting, it felt like a slap in the face. The role of Miss Goodthighs required no acting skills. It only required her to be so breathtakingly beautiful that audiences couldn't look away. The audition went exactly as Jacqueline had expected. The director didn't ask about her acting experience or test her ability to embody a character. They just looked at her. They looked as if they were assessing an expensive item rather than a person with depth and ambition. And when Jacqueline stepped onto the set in a revealing bikini, all eyes were on her. For a few seconds there was silence. Then murmurs of admiration filled the air. But amid the awe, there was one person who felt deeply uncomfortable. Jacqueline herself. She didn't want to be remembered only as an alluring image on the screen, but at that time, Hollywood wasn't offering her any other choice. After the film's release, she received an influx of offers, but there was one glaring issue. Every script she received had the same requirement. Her character needed to be beautiful, nothing more. And that was the moment she had to make a crucial decision. Either accept being just another screen siren, or fight to prove she had real talent. Then, in 1967, an unexpected opportunity arrived. Jacqueline was cast in Two for the Road, starring alongside Audrey Hepburn, one of the most gifted actresses of all time. It was a romantic drama that demanded nuanced, emotional performances. The moment she stepped onto the set, Jacqueline felt the difference. For the first time, she was being treated as a real actress, and that changed everything. Jacqueline didn't just act, she became the character. Gone were the glamorous bikinis, gone were the scenes designed only to showcase her body. Instead, she had the chance to express vulnerability, pain, and the emotional turmoil of her role, something she had longed for. The film was a success. For the first time, critics mentioned her name not for her looks, but for her subtle, expressive acting. But more importantly, Jacqueline had found her voice in the world of cinema. From that moment on, she knew that she could and must fight to be recognized as a serious actress. Her next major breakthrough came in 1968, when she was cast in The Detective, a film starring Frank Sinatra. But before stepping onto the set, she had already heard the warnings. Sinatra is difficult, Sinatra is controlling, Sinatra doesn't like working with new actors. Jacqueline didn't pay attention to the rumors, she wasn't afraid of challenges, and more than anything, she wanted to learn from a legend. But what surprised her was that Frank Sinatra was nothing like what she had been warned about. He wasn't difficult, arrogant, or dismissive. On the contrary, he called her the kid, and even stood up for her when she faced resistance from the screenwriters. And when filming wrapped, he gifted her a leather-bound script as a token of appreciation. The press wasted no time in stirring up speculation. Was there a romantic relationship between her and Sinatra? A beautiful actress working alongside a legendary man? There had to be something more. No one believed she was there because of her talent. Despite the gossip, The Detective helped her advance further in her career. But it wasn't the film that made her a star. That moment came when she appeared in one of the greatest action films of all time, Bullitt, 1968. The film not only cemented Steve McQueen's status as a Hollywood icon, but it also proved that Jacqueline could hold her own alongside the industry's biggest leading men. Before its release, whispers circulated, Jacqueline is just another pretty face next to McQueen. But when the film hit the big screen, the skeptics fell silent. She wasn't just a decorative love interest in McQueen's film, she was an integral part of the story, delivering a performance that was both subtle and powerful. Hollywood finally had to see her in a different light. By 1974, Jacqueline starred in Murder on the Orient Express, a film featuring an ensemble of legendary actors. This was the moment Hollywood officially recognized that Jacqueline Bisset was no longer just an actress defined by her beauty, she was a true movie star. Jacqueline Bisset entered Hollywood because of her beauty. But if that were all she had, she would have been forgotten like countless other starlets. To survive, she had to prove what the world doubted, that she was not just a seductive icon, but a true actress. Yet Hollywood wasn't ready to let go so easily. It continued to commodify her looks, turning her into the ultimate sex symbol. Of the 1,970s, something she had never truly desired. And all of it culminated with The Deep, 1977. Jacqueline joined The Deep, believing she was part of a gripping underwater adventure. A film with substance, not just a marketing campaign built around appearances. But Hollywood had its own plans. From the very beginning of filming, she sensed something was off. The camera relentlessly focused on her body in a white swimsuit,